group's ready to go out on the tour for the Dance Kid Dance Tour next month. So that's a big to do for you guys, right?
Yeah, so we're working on the eighth studio record right now, but we wanted to release these two songs, 365 and Dance Kid Dance, to kind of to get everybody a bit of an idea of like what the record was going to feel like, even though the last two records we've done have been conceptual pieces. So we wanted to make sure that this record, there's definitely a lot of experimentation on this new record, but there's a lot of different styles and what have you. So when we were putting the tour together and kind of figuring out how we were going to do the timeline, because we haven't announced the album just yet. We're probably 85% done with it. But yeah, the US side of what we're doing is we wanted to get these shows kind of put on sale and get out as we move into kind of the summer, because we're working on the Canada announce for touring as we speak. So that's in the works at the moment, but also just internationally outside of North America, we're trying to figure out exactly what's going to happen for this year. But the goal next year in 2026, I can be honest with you, the idea is that we want to play all 7 continents next year. So we're kind of a few years ahead right now with how we want to do certain things, but I'm just super pumped that that Canada is embracing the new material, which is the number one thing that I care about right now, because Canada has been so good to us, and I know it's been a minute since we've been up there, but please rest assured, we're working on the tour right now to announce sooner than later for Canada.
Well, you pretty much answered the question I was going to ask. When are you coming back up here north of
Sooner
the
than you
border?
think.
Awesome, man. Well, I know we'll accept you with open arms.
I
I
hope.
know your fans stateside will as well. Just a question before you like head out on the tour. Do you have
Yeah.
any certain things that you or the group has to do before you hit the road? Like, do you have any special things on a list that you need to say, all right, I got to get this done before I go out on the road for a while?
You mean like from a personal standpoint
Yeah,
or from like
personal
the
standpoint.
band standpoint?
Yeah, personal standpoint. You got a to-do list?
Well, so I'm the only one in the band that's single. So I do not have what we call a quote unquote honeydew list. Um, but the I mean, I will tell you this right now: the ladies, um, they're the real rock stars in regards to my guys. Man, they know how to handle when their men go out on tour and what have you, and how they keep everything in working order, if you will, at home. But I think some of them are like, "You've been home long enough. Get the hell out there! Like, get out there right now."
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're so connected to one another, even when we're off the road, because we're constantly in the middle of figuring out what the next steps are and what have you. So, I mean, the biggest thing is that, I mean, make sure the bills are all paid, make sure the kids are taken care of. And then when you get out on the road, it's just a daily routine of things that need to be taken care of. But what you want to try to do is, for us as a band, rehearsal is paramount, especially because we go in and when we're building these stage designs, this particular tour and this particular show is quite big. And the other thing too is there's not one particular stage on this show. There's actually 5 stages inside the arena. So there's not a bad seat in the house, and you kind of never know where a band member is going to be. So it's a lot of rehearsal. But specifically this time around, um, one thing we're doing is we're taking 4 days before we even meet everybody in the crew for the actual build of the set. We're taking 4 days to just make sure that we have backline, our front of house engineer and our monitor engineer, and it's just the music. It's just the choreography and building out the set list and figuring out exactly how everything's going to work, because we started building the show 6 months ago. So really, the thing that we have to do is be prepared.
Yeah, prep's the biggest thing, that's for sure. You got to be on your A game. Now, aside from tour talk, you guys had a pretty big weekend at the
Yeah.
iHeartRadio Music Awards. Nominated for
Yep.
the Rock Song of the Year and then
Rock
Rock
artist of
Artist
the
of the
year.
Year.
Yeah.
Not only nominated, but won
Yeah, won them
Congrats
both.
on
Couldn't
that.
believe it. Yeah,
Man, that
completely taken by surprise, to be honest with you. We've been nominated in our home country for other awards and what have you, and we've been nominated for iHeart Awards before as well. But we won for the very first time ever, and to win two of them back to back, and because they were radio awards and the acknowledgement of the radio airplay, I think those two awards meant the most to us than any of them. The radio built the band. We have, a deep love for radio, and what it represents to us and what it represents to growing an audience. I've often said, you know, streaming will get your music played, radio will give you a career. So my really, man, I still kind of, I kind of am like, did we really win those? And I'm like, nah, man, there's evidence. I'm like,
yeah.
okay. No, man, it's super rad to get nominated for these things, but you never go into it. We got nominated, and I was like, that's super cool. Never in my life would I have thought we would have won, let alone the two that we were up for, winning them both.
Yeah, and beating out some pretty big competition as well, man. That is huge. Like that is massive. So congratulations to yourself and the band for
Yeah, thank you.
accomplishing that. It shows that your hard work pays off.
I appreciate. Well, we want to thank iHeartRadio for being amazing partners, and and being
Hmm.
nominated in those categories that we were nominated in. I was like, whoa, it's definitely don't take it for granted. We do not take it for granted.
Definitely. So I want to get into the two new singles that you guys have out for us, Brent.
Yeah.
The first one is 365 and then
Yep.
Dance Kid Dance. Exceptional songs, man.
My gosh, thank you.
Both in their own, uh, lane, right? Because one's completely different from the other. So if you
Yeah.
just want to get into the meaning behind 365 first, then we'll get into Dance Kid Dance.
365 kind of has two different heartbeats in a lot of ways. I think the point of what 365 is representing is that time is precious, but it's not promised. And I think that, last year, in our band on a personal level, we lost some family members last year that it was unexpected and it was deeply emotional for all of us. And that song was really born out of the sense of loss that we had during that time. I mean, I'll be very honest with you about it. You know, Eric, our bass player, and also the producer, engineer, and the mixer of the last two Shinedown records, the producer, engineer, and the mixer of the current one that's getting ready to be released. He lost his dad suddenly last year, and then he lost his father, and he lost his aunt a couple of months later. After that, his wife Kelly, she lost her sister. I lost my granny last year towards the back half of the year,
Yeah.
and but in a lot of ways I think that 365 was born from, you grow up with that impression that when a family member, especially a grandmother or a mother or a father, the patriarchs, if you will, when they pass away, that they're gone. And that's not the case. Like, they may be physically gone,
Hmm.
but everything that they taught you and everything that they gave you and the time that they spent with you and how you pay it forward and who you are as an individual, you carry them with you. So they're never really gone. They're everywhere. But it is a song about that reflection of just saying, man, I wish I had one more day with this person, or even if I just had like one more hour just to tell them,
Yeah.
what they meant to you and how much they mean to you. But you know what? You'll see them again. But while you're here, that song has such a deep meaning. And it doesn't even have to be somebody that you've necessarily lost. It could be somebody that you kind of fall out of touch with and what have you. But you keep what they taught you, you keep that in your spirit every single day. And the other side about the dynamic of time is precious and it's not promised is, it's a roll of the dice. And if you've been second guessing what you want for your life or who you are or what you think you can and will be and what you can accomplish, don't have the mindset that you're not capable of going after what you really want for your life, whatever your dreams may be. And don't focus so much on the plan B. whatever your A plan is, go after that. It can change at any given moment. But
Yeah.
and that's the point in the song where it says a lot can happen in a year. So, quit wasting time and go after it.
Yeah, tomorrow's never promised. You
Yep.
gotta execute. They
And dance, kid, dance, man. We literally
yeah.
just wanted to write it. We just wanted to write a song that you could dance to. Now it's a little
Well,
bit more,
yeah.
in depth, from that, but it's a social commentary song about, all of the things that are going on. It's a song sung from a lot of different points of views. But at the end of the day, it's met with this like we wanted it to just be unabashed. We wanted it to be something that had an attitude, but just made you want to move. So, that's why we, chose to do the drops after the pre-chorus and then the chorus and then, the solo section and all those different aspects of it. It was a 4 on the floor. We wanted it to be punk rock, but we wanted it to be, again, we wanted it to have an attitude. It got the seal of approval from my son early on, which is always a good thing because he's 17 years old and he'll let me know if something's corny. So once he gave us the seal, the approval, we were like, all right, let's go.
Yeah. No, I love that. I love it how you guys have that ability to take a song and just hit the audience with it. It's hard hitting, right? But then you can also give us songs that are really, deeply emotional and you can sit back. So then when we're enjoying your concerts, there's times when you just want to, give it your all. And then there's other times when you got to sit back and just really listen to you guys,
Yeah,
show us what
it's
you're
peaks and
capable of.
valleys more than anything. We've never written any. I don't think any of our albums have ever been. Um, you know, we try not to write the same record over and over again. We do our best not to write the same song twice.
Hmm.
But the dynamic of that also too is we're inspired by a lot of creativity and a lot of different musical influences and styles. So we try to incorporate that. This new record, the last two records have been conceptual pieces. This record's more of a traditional album in the sense of it's a collection of songs, but the songs are all over the place.
Yeah. Well, Brent, I just got an update here saying that we're unfortunately running out of time, which
Listen, man, this will not be the last time that me and you speak. We're working on what we're going to do in Canada touring wise, and the new record will be announced here pretty soon. I appreciate you giving me all this time today. It means a great deal to me and the band. Thank you.
the same goes for you, Brent. Looking forward to hearing the new album. All the best out on the road down in the States, and very much looking forward to seeing you guys up here in Canada sometime in the near future.
Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. Thanks, Aaron.